At this point in the course, you're starting to build your foundation for the pelvic floor work, right? You have a visual image. We've learned about the bones and the organs and the muscles. And then we've learned about how the breath can really affect the pelvis, right? So you're connected to this area. You're understanding the connection with the breath for this area. And now we're ready to start to move this area. And with that usually comes Kegels. Most women have tried them. Most women expect that we're going to say that you should do them. And really, that's where we want to go now. So, where did Kegels come from? Well, from this man in the 1940s. He created Kegels. He was developed by Dr. Arnold Kegel. He was an obstetrician and gynecologist, and he wanted to help his postpartum patients when he noticed that they had laxity of their vaginal walls and incontinence after childbirth. And over the last 80 years, Kegel exercises have become the go-to remedy for any problem of the female pelvis. When I ask women how to do a Kegel, there's a general notion that they are supposed to squeeze down there, but most women are not sure about the details of this or the actual purpose of Kegels. And one thing I want to make sure is very clear is that while Kegels are one tool in the tool belt, they should not and cannot be used across the board for all pelvic problems. And in particular, if there is an incorrect execution of them, they will not only not help, but they could make matters worse. So what's ideal? What are we looking for? The pelvic floor muscles are normally in a relaxed state. We want them to respond unconsciously when we need them to. So for instance, we want them to tighten when we need them to. Maybe if we're lifting something, laughing, coughing, sneezing, jumping. And we want them to relax when we need them to. For instance, when we're going to the bathroom. In reality, these muscles are used every day with daily functions, all day long. But medical research is indicating that even after brief verbal or written instruction, only half of women can correctly activate and or contract these muscles, therefore leading to pelvic floor dysfunction and the many problems that women are dealing with on a daily basis, such as incontinence. Here is the approach and questions that I use when I work with women to achieve optimal pelvic floor muscle function. And this is what we're going to use for the rest of this course. So, number one, can you relax your pelvic floor muscles? Women can, and there is a large percentage of women who do have what is called hypertonic pelvic floor. And what this means is that their pelvic floor muscles are tight. And we need to do things called down training to help the muscles come back to a resting state. Once a woman can relax her pelvic floor muscles pain-free, we start to work on strengthening. Can you contract and relax your pelvic floor muscles? Again, this can be both that a woman is not strong enough in her pelvic floor to contract, or she may be able to contract, but it takes her a very long time to relax. Next, does the pelvic floor muscles have endurance? So again, once we kind of have this contract, relax happening, then we need to build up that endurance. Think of like any other muscle. And then last is, can the pelvic floor muscles withstand a large amount of intra-abdominal pressure? Think of a sneeze. Think of that much pressure is coming down on the pelvic floor, and it needs to be strong enough to withhold that pressure so that there isn't leakage that happens. Okay, let's begin. It's time to relax our pelvic floor muscles.